Hey you guys, it's me Laura. I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids, ages 6, almost 11, and 13. And today I'm going to share with you what I have in store for my 8th grader this year. So this year with my 8th grader, I'm really focusing on prepping him for high school with a little bit more rigorous work, doing a lot more independence in his work. And we've been, of course, slowly moving towards that, but that's kind of a huge goal that I have for him. I think in some ways it's going to be more work than he's used to, and hopefully we can focus on attention to detail and just a lot of things that as homeschoolers it's often easy to overlook, but we're going to be focusing on that with him. I also have him doing some classes that are almost completely independent because I really want him to get the feel for what that is and for doing assignments for other things. So that is not always incorporated just in one subject, but you'll kind of see how those goals are being achieved throughout the course of our study. Every day I have all of my kids read independently. For him, he's doing 30 minutes of independent reading right now. He has been enjoying some books by Michael Marpaggio, and I'm sure I slaughtered that last name, but he wrote War Horse, and right now Samuel's reading one that he wrote about a dog, and he's really enjoying those. But then he's also got a couple on his list that for when he finishes up. He loved Wednesday Wars, and so he wants to read the sequel to that, and he also wants to read Catch You Later Trader. He might actually read these, he might find something else. All of that reading time is just really about him reading whatever he is interested in. So that's kind of where he's at with that. And then we have a read aloud always with our unit study, and with the unit study, we cover that read aloud, we cover history and science, we cover language arts, and we cover spelling and vocabulary. And the way that it looks is a little bit different for every single unit. So sometimes I'll pull in other resources. I don't have pictures because I've got them on the computer, but the Critical Thinking Company has some writing resources and some grammar resources that we'll pull in like a unit from there if we have a unit that doesn't have much of the word work and grammar and that kind of stuff. Right now we're wrapping up Cold War unit. We're really focusing on the Cornell method of note-taking, which is what I taught when I taught a study skills class to college students. And when I tutored for those students, we used the Cornell method. So I'm very familiar with that. And for Book Basket, everyday Book Basket is a basket of books. They can be, and I also have audiobooks available for them as well that they have to listen to every day that goes along with our unit, whatever topics are covered in that unit. And it's very broad, and some of the things connect heavily to the unit. Some of the things are just little taglines, but it gives the kids a chance to explore what they're interested in, and I don't dictate to them what they read from there at all. They can totally pick. And then at the end of their reading each day, I just have him fill out a little form with the date, the book title, the author, whether it was an audiobook or a physical book, how much he read, and then just some thoughts on it. So it says book review there, but it's not really a review. It's what are some things that happened? What are some questions you have? What are some things that stood out to you in the reading, just to kind of get them thinking a little bit. And my hope is that over the year, I will increase the amount that I expect from that, which is hard for me because that kind of written response, especially for my oldest, really kind of kills books, and I don't want to do that, but I also want him to get in the habit of writing about what he's read, because he's going to need to do that. That's a skill that he needs to build. So I'm hoping that if I just incrementally expect a little bit more and a little bit more, it might work over the course of the year without just totally, I don't know, destroying reading. So there's that. Then we have, he's still doing Type C. So I have him working through the adult version of Type C, as well as taking a class on G Suite. So how to use Google Docs, Google Sheets, all of those kinds of things. That is really what is being used a lot in the school setting now, more than Microsoft Office. So I feel like in order to get him ready for high school, any courses that he might be taking online or anything like that, that is the program. That's also what they use at the local school. He does Future City there. That is what they use when they're writing and working on their projects. So I want him to become more familiar with that. So they do have a course about that on Type C that he's working through as well. As far as his Spanish, and I will try to put a little clip or an image or something in here to show you, but he's doing foreign languages for kids by kids, and it's Spanish. This is something that we've looked at a lot in the past, and it is for younger kids, but he really likes the video element, and mostly he'd been doing Spanish on Duolingo, but we have also tried doing Spanish classes on OutSchool, and we've tried a lot of other stuff to help his Spanish really sink in. And I feel like these video lessons, along with the quizzes and the resources that they have, he is actually getting more functional in his Spanish than he has with any of the other programs. So he's still doing Duolingo, but this has been really good. So he's going to continue to do it. And like I said, I'll leave a link below. So if you're looking for Spanish lessons for your kids, I highly recommend this program. And he's also doing a course that I found on Timberdoodle. I like them to do a course that is something that they're interested about, but it takes it to an academic setting. So maybe they get to dig a little bit deeper. We get to use some homeschooling funds to help support whatever it is. Last year, he really worked a lot on auto mechanics. He took an auto mechanic class online and really, I think he went through it twice actually, and he really got to know the parts of the car, how it works, all of that, and that was really helpful for him, and he's been able to apply some of that, which has been really cool. He also dabbled a little bit in YouTube videos, but that didn't really stick very long. This year he is going to be taking an aviation course. This is Introduction to Aviation, and I purchased this from Timberdoodle. And it's a really, really neat in-depth course. It comes with a syllabus and it has all of his assignments written out for him, which is really good because he's never really seen a syllabus before. So he can get familiar with that and how it works. And this goes over, there's an inspirational introduction about making goals and things that get in the way of getting your goals and things that help you achieve your goals. And then they have a bunch of aviation history, which has been really fun because he's been doing this course and he'll come and tell me about all the history of the airport that we fly out from when we go places here. And so that's been really cool. And after they do a lot of history of aviation, local and otherwise, then they start looking at aerodynamics, and it goes really deep into aerodynamics. And they learn how to use the instruments in a plane. There's a flight simulator that it comes with. They learn how to read charts. They learn how to do navigation. There's a whole module. The course came with all of these navigation tools, as well as a bunch of maps that they're going to use to read. And I mean, it's really, really in-depth. They learn how to do the flights calculations, so there's math in this course as well. They learn how to use instruments, how to read them. They learn about weather and that in relation to flight. They learn about weight and balance. And then at the end, they have quizzes and checkpoints, and the instructor is available via email, so he's really responsive, and I think that this is going to be really good for him on a number of levels. If it takes us more than a year, that's totally fine, but I think this is going to be a really solid course for him that's going to teach him a lot of good things. I also expect that it's going to be a little bit challenging, which is not necessarily a bad thing at this stage. For literature, we still do literature together, and at this point we've moved literature to where sometimes I would split the grammar and language arts. Sometimes I would do that with literature, and sometimes I would do it with the unit study. I've mostly stuck to using that with the unit study at this point and keeping literature just a subject where we read and we discuss. That may change at some point. I'm not real solid on that, but for right now, it's really just to build critical thinking and to discuss like what's happening, what's the plot, like really discuss some of these literary elements, but mostly to work on critical thinking. I did a haul last year of all of the choices for him for 7th grade. We didn't make it through them all, so these are left over from that stack of books. So these are still ones that we'll pull from this year, and of course we might pull other ones out. We are almost done with Lord of the Rings. We are in Return of the King, and we just have, I think we'll finish this probably not this week, but probably the next one, and that will be the trilogy done. That has taken us a while to get through. We took breaks in between, but we're kind of ready to move on from that, I think. And for math, we're doing Math on the Level. We started this with him in 6th grade and played with it, I think, a little bit on and off. Actually, we might have started in 5th grade. Played with it on and off a little bit between now and then, but he's almost done with this. This goes all the way through pre-algebra. So this is a curriculum that you buy at once, and you can use it for all your kids for all grades. And I have a video that explains it a little bit more, but he's almost done with that. And then I also have him finishing up from Evan Moore has a resource, a financial literacy resource. And this is the one, I think it's like 6th through 8th or something like that. I don't remember, but the last one that they have. And it just goes over, it has little units. Like this one is about taking out loans and managing loans. And so it's got all sorts of, it's got things you read and understand. And then it's got practical worksheets that you do, all kinds of stuff like that. So he's been enjoying this. It talked about like when you get a job and paying taxes, and it just covers a lot of stuff. So once he finishes that and the few lessons that he has left in math on the level, we're going to move to Denison Algebra, and I don't have that to show you because I am not going to buy it until we need it. But I will link a video below that kind of shows you a little bit more how that works. I think that's going to work really well for him. The modeling, the way that it's set up, I think is going to be a really good fit for him. That is pretty much it right now that we have. There's a lot of, in the bulk of his like challenging stuff is really in our unit study, and I can do that by giving him assignments that are a little bit different than the ones that I give his siblings. For this unit, I am having him take notes. I might continue that on future units as well. I usually have him take notes on, for this unit, I've been having him take notes on the videos that we watch, the educational videos, the documentaries, things like that. But I might change that to him taking notes on some reading. He might have some additional reading assignments and things like that. So that is all that I have for my 8th grader. If you have any questions or want to see any of these resources in more detail, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope that you guys are having a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.